are listening to part 1 of 4 of episode 21 of the Psychotherapist Podcast. A podcast featuring a real-life psychopath being psychoanalyzed by a clinical psychologist, the Dr. Bob. I am your psycho host, Malcolm Clancy, and it is my honor to present you our 21st episode. This episode is broken into 4 parts. Other episodes are censored and all about continuity. We shoot from the hip on this one, folks, and get into all kinds of good topics. So if you just like listening to different little segments about different things, this is the episode for you. In part 1 of this episode, we discuss Abraham Maslowe, his theory of structuring human needs, and the Maslowe pyramid. We discuss my ongoing crusade against the horrific monster that is my former roommate, Medusa. And also on this part, I get attacked by wolves live on the air for your entertainment. This is the Psychotherapist Podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace out. Alright, so we have I'm gonna jot down our agenda and we'll just go through it and
I have to look at the clock. Yeah, and I have to finish just a little bit before 12:30, okay?
Yeah, no problem. So hello everyone, welcome to the Psychotherapist Podcast. I am the psycho, he is the therapist. I already asked how you're doing, Dr. Bob, but why don't you tell the people how you're doing?
Well, I'm doing quite well, and I thought I would give everyone a special greeting on this Independence Day with my Tibetan singing bowl. There we go, finally in tune.
Do you want to start off with a historical Malcolm fun fact?
Let's just take it away, okay? Yes, go with it.
Alright, let's just for the sake of the audience, just list off of the agenda real quick and then I'll go into the quick little digression. But so, for our agenda, we had my goals list. I did a restructuring of different areas of my life and trying to keep a Maslowe sort of pyramid of needs in mind as I'm constructing it. Maybe I'll put some visuals on the screen, who knows. So that was item 1.
And maybe I should tell them who Maslowe is when you want me to do that, okay?
Yeah, well, you can tell them right now if you want.
Okay, Abraham Maslowe was a psychologist who developed a schematic for looking at overall development. And it was done in the form of a pyramid. And at the bottom of the pyramid were the very specific needs that we have in life, starting with safety, security, food, water, all of that stuff. And it builds up gradually to the apex, the point at the very top that we reach, which is called self-actualization. And sometimes you work toward that throughout your whole lifetime. Sometimes it takes people a lifetime to reach it. Other people are a little more mature and reach it a little sooner. But that means that you've taken everything that you've got cognitively, emotionally, socially, and you've put your life together and you're doing something in a way that is meaningful and purposeful to yourself and basically to others. So I think that's a good nutshell description.
Yeah, it's like you secured all your life's needs. That's like the base of the pyramid, and then the top is like you've given yourself purpose and, you'll be able to live a life with no regrets and you'll become your best self.
Excellent. Did a better job than I did describing the apex there. So good.
So that's a little on Maslowe, and that's going to be the first agenda item. The second agenda item was I'm switching my mode on Bumble from dating to BFF, and that was of a half hour ago. So we're just going to we're going to shoot from the hip on that one, but it'll be fun. And a third one, which I added to the list, which we did not discuss off mic. It's not a huge priority for me, but I think burning Medusa in effigy could be a lot of fun.
Okay. And not everyone will know who Medusa is, so you'll need to elaborate a little bit on that when the time comes.
She
And
was
what-
she was an ex-roommate of mine.
yeah.
We were going to start a business, and then she threw it all away, and I blame her and take no responsibility for anything. That's the short version.
Yeah, and I would add to that it was a little more than just a roommate relationship.
Oh,
There was
good.
emotional entanglements involved in it.
Oh yeah, was a good friend. Now is
Yep.
a demon from hell that I am thinking about burning in effigy. But we'll talk about that later. So
Okay.
those are just
My-
3 starting
my only
items.
question
Sorry, go
from a
ahead.
My only question from a therapist perspective is, why now? And you can address that later.
Well, let's just talk. Let's just get out of the way because it's real simple. Like, it's not something that's been on my mind that much, but I know months and months and months ago I was going through like just notepads and stuff just for my artwork, just looking for some stuff to sketch on, and I came across these notepads that we used to write through, and I didn't even bother looking at them. Like, once I knew what they were, I was just like, huh, maybe I should burn these later.
Okay.
And then didn't really think much about it, and I'm not sure what reminded me of it recently, but you know, I just think part of me wants to just like tear those pages out, light them on fire, stomp out the ashes, and I feel like that would just be a good way to live my life. But then there's that paranoid side of me that it's like, if ever shit goes down with this person where they come back for vengeance or whatever, maybe it's good to have all the evidence, all of it, regardless of how like useful it might be.
Okay, I'm thinking here. So, symbolically, this is a way for you to put a cap on the whole relationship and the feelings and everything else. And I don't know if the word is the best word is closure, but we'll use that. But is that the impetus behind it?
I don't know, it was just an initial reaction to having it, and I thought it was an interesting thought, because it's not something I feel any real need to be compelled to do, because I'll be honest, if I didn't have any current roommates, let's call them, and had the place to myself, I might have already done it in the basketball court and the whatever, but you know, there's just no way anyone in my family is going to be okay with me setting anything on fire, even if it's just a sheet of paper over a fire pit or whatever.
Right. You might have to take it out to the woods or something.
Yeah, it'd be too much work. So I got better shit to do.
Okay. Well, you bring up an interesting point, though. In knowing the history of this case and the psychological instability in the other person, I would lean toward symbolically burning these things and keeping hard copies of them for any future reference. Because one never knows.
Yeah, because I do have the restraining order complaint, and I think that's like, that is one I think like alternative motivation besides closure is like, part of me wants for like self-preservation's sake to hold on to it. And just to be clear to the audience, this was a complaint that was not enforced, so it was just taken to a court and they're like, no, you're full of shit.
Yep.
So I got off scot-free, but I still have the formal complaint, you know, and it's like part of me for self-preservation's sake, because as you say, one never knows. I swear to God, I just heard wolves howling, but I have no idea what that sound was.
Okay. Coyotes, possibly?
Who knows? Maybe just some loud landscapers or something. Who knows? But anywho, as it's raining, I'm an idiot. But anyway, so, right, there's the self-preservation element, you know. But then there's also the little, like, paranoid side to me where if, like, because I know where I keep it, and if, I don't know, just for whatever freak accident, it were to just fall out, or end up in, you know, just any other hands except mine, I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be hella awkward to fucking explain to anyone. You know?
Got it. Yes.
So you understand the dilemma?
I think so. The dilemma is that, on the one hand, you might want to retain that because you never know in the future when you might need it. For some, are those the wolves that you're describing?
No, that's just my dog calling them out.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because your dog usually doesn't bark that much.
Well, it really just depends if we have people approaching the house or not. So maybe the wolves are outside the house and he's all like, "Yo, fuck y'all, motherfuckers." What?
Have you looked outside to make sure there aren't any wolves out there?
You know what, man? I read somewhere that wolves don't attack people, and it's raining, so I've never seen anything beyond like a fucking fox. And I feel like if there were wolves around here, there would be no foxes.
Okay.
Just my guess, but who knows?
Yes, okay.
But anyway, but yeah, so part of me considers like creating a digital copy, like, but again, that can be compromised and maybe even more easily. So part of me almost wants to just put it in an envelope, put that envelope in an envelope, and just keep it someplace safe.
Well, that would be a good plan.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wouldn't worry about the chances of somebody coming upon it or it falling out somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't believe this is paranoia you're acting on either. I think it's just realistic thinking. And I just know that in my practice, they've changed the law, and by law, we only need to keep patient records for 7 years, but I keep them, or at least portions of them, because my experience is that 25 years after seeing someone, somebody comes in with some kind of subpoena or some lawyer calls and wants some information, and, you know, basically...
Or they come at you at the street with a razor blade under their tongue.
Yeah, well, that's never happened. some pain-in-the-ass lawyer involved in some personal lawsuit. You're trying to get some kind of character profile on someone, and the person gives my name, and basically the lawyers, you know, if they see that they might make some money on the case or something, don't leave me alone. So if I have some just demographic information, it's better than trying to do it, especially as you get older, or as I get older, do it all by recall. At least if you look at a name and a date that you saw this person, it brings back some recollection.
Those are good points because, I mean, I would say just like my basic memory of Medusa is like faded. Like, I don't remember her dad's name, like, for example. I couldn't. Actually, now I do, now that I say it, but like stuff, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I think you know, I know you, and you're young and your brain is healthy, and I could probably trigger if we did it at, you know, in an office setting through some.
Honestly, you know, I feel in a lot of ways kind of untriggerable, and I love it.
Yeah, but I think you were triggered by seeing these old drawings that you had, this old stuff that you and she did together.
Well, it certainly triggered a thought that, like, oh, this is something that is in my possession that I forgot was even there. So right. It's like, what to do.
Right.
But I think we can put that one to rest now, don't you?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I want to say that what you're doing is, you know, from a clinical perspective, it is following the process of loss, where this does happen. You know, you are basically have gone through a loss and sort of passed through it, and then suddenly something comes back into your life or your mind that reminds you of it, even if just for a moment.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to you. I would hope that you could sort of move on from this.
Well, the thing is, like, I said it did trigger, like, that thought that I just wanted to be honest and explore with you from a clinical perspective, because, you know, like I said, I wasn't thinking about it that much, so I didn't even put that much thought to it, but I did think that was just like an interesting little subconscious thing that, you know, I don't know. I wondered if there would be anything to be said about setting such things on fire.
Yeah, I would do it symbolically.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the solution.
You know,
So
take a piece of paper and maybe write her name on it, or take one page out of the things that you
yeah,
found.
I don't want to waste good paper. I'd rather just do art.
Okay.
I don't want to waste good material.
No, that's the process of sublimation, and a great technique from a Freudian perspective or a Jungian perspective is, you know, can do it through your art. It'd be very symbolic.
Yeah, I never thought to do anything of or about, but I'm sure I could come up with something interesting. There is just a quick tangent, one piece that I started working on that I'll send you a photo of later.